What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing something absolutely insane. We're going to take a virtual tour of the most dangerous, most life-threatening, most terrifying places on the entire planet. I'm talking about places so extreme, so deadly, that just setting foot in them could be the last thing you ever do. We've spent weeks researching and gathering footage to bring you this ultimate countdown. Trust me, you are not going to believe what we found. Are you ready to see where you should never ever go on vacation? We're counting down from 10 all the way to the #1 most dangerous spot on Earth. Each one of these locations is crazier than the last. Islands swarming with thousands of deadly snakes. Lakes that can literally burn your skin off. Places where the air itself can kill you. I wanted to visit some of these myself, but my team literally told me it was a death wish. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. These are 10 places you should never visit if you value your safety. Let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a place with a name that tells you everything you need to know. Death Valley, USA. This isn't just a catchy name, guys. This place is literally the hottest, driest, and lowest national park in the entire United States. The world record for the highest air temperature ever recorded was right here. 134 degrees Fahrenheit. 56.7 degrees Celsius. You could literally cook an egg on the pavement. The ground temperature can get even hotter, close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Your shoes could literally start to melt if you stand in one place for too long. It's an insane level of heat our bodies are not built to handle. If your car breaks down out here, you are in serious trouble. There's almost no cell service. You could be stranded for hours or even days. Without enough water, dehydration can set in within minutes. People have actually died out here from getting lost or underestimating water needs. If you visit, be over-prepared with gallons and gallons of water, a reliable vehicle, and a plan for the absolute worst-case scenario. Coming in at number 9 is a place straight out of your worst nightmares. Seriously, if you're afraid of snakes, you might want to skip this one. We're talking about Ilha da Queimada Grande, Snake Island. Located off the coast of Brazil, it's so dangerous the government made it illegal to visit. This isn't just a few snakes, it's absolutely infested. One of the highest concentrations of venomous snakes anywhere. Scientists estimate 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. Imagine that. Everywhere you step, there's a snake. Under every rock, on every tree branch, slithering through the grass. There is literally no escape. Snake Island is the only home of the golden lancehead pit viper. Their venom is 5 times stronger than mainland cousins. It can melt human flesh, cause kidney failure, internal bleeding, and kill a person in under an hour. The stories are terrifying. Legend: a lighthouse keeper and his family were overrun by snakes. Snakes slithered into their home through windows. They tried to flee but were bitten on the way to the boat. No one survived. That's why the lighthouse is now automated. Only selected scientists and the Brazilian Navy go there. They visit once a year to maintain the lighthouse. They bring a doctor on every trip and multiple vials of antivenom. For our number 8 spot, we're heading to a place that became infamous overnight. Chernobyl, Ukraine. This isn't a natural danger, but a man-made disaster that has left a scar on the planet for centuries to come. On April 26, 1986, a catastrophic explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, creating the worst nuclear disaster in history. The city of Pripyat, which was built to house the plant's workers, was evacuated in a matter of hours. Over 50,000 people were forced to leave everything behind: their homes, their possessions, their entire lives. Today, Pripyat is a ghost town, frozen in time. You can see schoolbooks left open on desks, dolls left in cribs, posters from the 1980s still hanging on the walls. The real danger here isn't something you can see, hear, or touch. It's the invisible threat of radiation. The explosion at Reactor 4 released 400 times more radiation than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. While the levels have decreased significantly, there are still hotspots where radiation levels are dangerously high. The soil, the plants, the buildings, everything is contaminated. The red forest got such a high dose that all the pine trees turned ginger brown and died. While some tourism is now allowed with strict safety measures, visitors have to carry Geiger counters and are forbidden from touching anything or even sitting on the ground. Chernobyl stands as a chilling monument to human error. At number 7, we have a place that is dangerous not because of nature, but because of people who want absolutely nothing to do with the outside world. This is North Sentinel Island, part of the Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal. This small, remote island is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. They have lived in complete isolation for an estimated 60,000 years. The Sentinelese are fiercely protective of their isolation and their home. They reject any and all contact with outsiders, often with extreme violence. Anyone who has tried to approach the island has been met with a barrage of arrows and spears. The Indian government has recognized their desire for isolation and has made it illegal for anyone to go within 3 miles of the island. This law protects outsiders from the Sentinelese and also protects the Sentinelese from the outside world. Because they have been isolated for so long, they have no immunity to common diseases like the flu or measles. A simple cold from a visitor could wipe out their entire population. In 2006, 2 fishermen whose boat drifted ashore were killed by the tribe. In 2018, an American missionary illegally went to the island to try and preach Christianity. He was also killed. These events are a stark reminder that this is not a tourist destination. It's the home of a sovereign people who have a right to defend it. North Sentinel Island needs to stay untouched by modern civilization. Cracking the top 5, at number 6, we're visiting a place nicknamed the cruelest place on Earth and hell on Earth. This is the Danakil Desert, located in Ethiopia. Those nicknames aren't an exaggeration. A brutal, otherworldly landscape that looks like it belongs on another planet, with dangers to match. First, the heat. The Danakil Desert is among the lowest and hottest places on Earth, with temperatures regularly soaring above 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius. Not a dry heat like Death Valley. The air is thick with moisture from the nearby Red Sea, making it oppressive and suffocating. Relentless, sweat-drenched heat, zero relief. But heat is just the start. A hotbed of geological activity. The ground is literally tearing apart at the junction of 3 tectonic plates. Constant earthquakes, active volcanoes, giant cracks in the Earth's crust. One famous feature, Erta Ale volcano, home to a persistent lava lake. A giant, bubbling cauldron of molten rock, churning and spitting fire. Geysers dot the landscape, spewing toxic gases. Chlorine, sulfur. The air can be poisonous. The ground is covered in surreal, brightly colored salt and mineral deposits from hot springs. Don't be fooled by the beauty. The water in these pools is highly acidic and boiling hot, yet some people live and work here. The Afar people, mining salt on vast salt flats in centuries-old tradition. Some of the toughest people on Earth adapted to an environment that would kill most of us in hours. The Danakil Desert is mind-blowing, terrifying and beautiful, showing extreme forces that shape our planet. At number 5, we're going to the highest point on the planet, Mount Everest. Standing at a staggering 29,032 feet, reaching the summit is a dream for many climbers. But this dream can very quickly turn into a deadly nightmare. This mountain is not just a challenge, it's a killer. The death zone above 8,000 meters is not a metaphor, it's a literal description. The biggest danger is the altitude itself. In the death zone, oxygen levels are so low, about a third of what they are at sea level, that the human body begins to die. Without supplemental oxygen, you can only survive for a few hours at best. The lack of oxygen leads to hypoxia, which can cause confusion, poor judgment, and severe altitude sickness. Climbers have been known to make fatal mistakes, like taking off their gloves and freezing their hands, because their brains are starved of oxygen. Then there's the weather. A clear day can turn into a raging blizzard with hurricane-force winds and temperatures that plummet to minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 60 Celsius. Frostbite is a constant threat, and many climbers who survive return home having lost fingers, toes, or even entire limbs to the extreme cold. Avalanches are a constant risk, capable of wiping out entire teams in seconds. The Khumbu Icefall is a treacherous, constantly shifting glacier with deep crevasses that could swallow a climber whole. Tragically, Mount Everest has become the world's highest open-air graveyard. Over 300 climbers have died trying to reach the summit. Due to the extreme difficulty and danger of recovery, most of their bodies remain on the mountain, frozen in time. These fallen climbers serve as grim markers for those who follow. It's a powerful reminder that conquering this peak comes at an incredibly high price. Coming in at number 4 is a body of water that looks beautiful from a distance, but is actually one of the most caustic and deadly lakes on the entire planet. This is Lake Natron in Tanzania. The photos of this lake are, honestly haunting. You can see birds, bats that have washed ashore, perfectly preserved in a stone-like state, almost like something out of a Greek myth about Medusa. The secret to Lake Natron's deadly power is its unique chemical composition. The lake is fed by mineral-rich hot springs and a river but has no outlet, so water evaporates in intense African heat. This leaves behind incredibly high concentrations of salt, minerals, sodium carbonate decahydrate, also known as natron. This is actually the same substance the ancient Egyptians used for mummification. It creates super-alkaline water with a pH level as high as 10.5, which is almost as alkaline as ammonia. This extreme alkalinity is what makes the water so dangerous. It's incredibly caustic and can burn the skin and eyes of most animals that aren't adapted to it. The water can even reach temperatures of up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's definitely not a refreshing swimming pool. Any animal that dies in the lake gets calcified, essentially turned into a hard, stone-like statue as the natron preserves its body. The lake gets its stunning red and orange colors from salt-loving microorganisms and algae that thrive in these harsh conditions. While it's deadly to most life, it's paradoxically a vital breeding ground for one specific species, the lesser flamingo. These birds have evolved tough skin and scales on their legs to protect them from the caustic water. They build their nests on salt islands in the middle of the lake, safe from predators who just can't cross the deadly water. Lake Natron is a perfect example of how something can be both a cradle of life for one species and a literal death trap for almost everything else. Number 3. The Devil's Triangle. For our number 3 spot, we're delving into one of the world's greatest and most enduring mysteries. It's a place that doesn't have a physical danger you can see, but a legendary one that has captured imaginations for decades. We're talking about the Bermuda Triangle. This infamous stretch of the North Atlantic Ocean, roughly bounded by Bermuda, Florida, Puerto Rico, has been blamed for the mysterious disappearance of dozens of ships and airplanes. The legend really took off in the mid-20th century. One of the most famous cases is the disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945. 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers vanished during a routine training mission. A rescue plane sent to look for them also disappeared without a trace. In total, 6 aircraft and 27 men were lost. The Navy's official report concluded they disappeared as if they had flown to Mars. Over the years, the list of unexplained incidents has grown. Ships have been found adrift and completely abandoned, with everything in perfect order but no sign of the crew. Planes have sent bizarre final radio messages before vanishing from radar. The stories are endless, and the proposed explanations are even wilder: rogue waves, magnetic anomalies, alien abductions, portals to another dimension. Many scientists and the US Coast Guard say there's nothing mysterious about the Bermuda Triangle. They point out this area sees huge traffic and has unpredictable weather, including violent storms and hurricanes. The Gulf Stream can quickly erase evidence of disasters, but despite these logical explanations, the legend persists. The sheer number of disappearances in this one area is hard to ignore, and many cases remain officially unsolved. Whether the cause is paranormal or just extremely bad weather, the fact remains that many have entered the Bermuda Triangle and never been seen again. It's a place where the line between fact and fiction blurs, leaving us with a truly chilling mystery of the deep. Number 2, the New Chernobyl. Taking the number 2 spot is another man-made disaster zone, a place that serves as a modern-day Chernobyl. This is the Fukushima exclusion zone in Japan. On March 11, 2011, a massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake triggered a devastating tsunami. The giant waves slammed into the coastline, overwhelming the seawalls of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The tsunami caused complete power failure at the plant, disabling cooling systems for 3 nuclear reactors. This led to a series of meltdowns, hydrogen explosions, massive releases of radioactive material into the air and into the Pacific Ocean. It was the most severe nuclear accident since Chernobyl, and it forced the evacuation of over 150,000 residents from the surrounding area. Just like in Pripyat, entire towns within the Fukushima exclusion zone were abandoned in a hurry. Homes, businesses, schools. Weeds grow through cracked pavement. Wild animals roam the empty streets. It's a silent, haunting landscape that shows the fragility of our modern world in the face of nature's power and technological failure. The primary danger here, again, is the invisible enemy radiation. While a massive cleanup effort has been underway for years, many areas are still too contaminated for people to return to. The radioactive particles settled into the soil, forests, rivers. Workers in full protective suits are still painstakingly decontaminating the area 1 square meter at a time. This disaster is a powerful reminder of nuclear power risks. It shows that even in a country as prepared as Japan, a worst-case scenario can still happen. Number 1. The coldest place on Earth. And here we are, at the number 1 most dangerous place on our list. You might expect a volcano or a war zone, but the top spot goes to a place where the danger is the air you breathe and the ground you walk on. Welcome to Oymyakon, Russia. This is, without a doubt, the coldest permanently inhabited place on the face of the Earth. If Death Valley is like living in an oven, Oymyakon is like living in a freezer. A very, very big freezer. How cold is it? The average winter temperature is around -58 degrees Fahrenheit or -50 Celsius, but it gets much, much colder. The record low temperature here was a bone-shattering -96.2 degrees Fahrenheit or -71.2 Celsius. It's so cold that if you wear glasses outside, they can freeze to your face. It's so cold that batteries die almost instantly, and cars have to be left running 24/7 or they will never start again. Life in Oymyakon is a constant battle against the cold. Frostbite is a daily danger, and just a few minutes of exposed skin can lead to severe injury. Breathing the frigid air can be painful and even dangerous, as it can freeze the moisture in your lungs. The ground is permanently frozen solid, permafrost, which makes everything from farming to burying the dead incredibly difficult. Funerals can take up to 3 days because the ground has to be thawed with hot coals before a grave can be dug. Even the simplest tasks become monumental challenges. Pens freeze, so people use pencils. There is no indoor plumbing in most houses because the pipes would freeze and burst. Instead, people use outhouses. Imagine having to run outside in -60-degree weather just to use the bathroom. The diet consists almost entirely of meat, reindeer, horse meat, fish, because it's impossible to grow crops. Oymyakon is the ultimate test of human endurance. The 500 or so residents who call this place home are some of the toughest people in the world, born into a life of extreme survival. It's a place that pushes the absolute limits of what the human body can withstand. While it might not have snakes or radiation, the relentless, life-sucking cold of Oymyakon makes it, in our opinion, the most consistently dangerous place on the planet for daily life. And that's our countdown of the 10 most dangerous destinations on Earth. From the scorching heat of Death Valley to the bone-chilling cold of Oymyakon, these places are a testament to the extreme and powerful forces on our planet. It's absolutely mind-blowing to think about the conditions people and animals endure in some of these locations. While the thrill of adventure is amazing, it's crucial to remember that some places are off-limits for a very good reason. Your safety should always come first. These places are fascinating to learn about from a distance, but please, do not try to be a hero. Never risk your life for a thrill or a cool photo. Respect the warnings. Respect nature. Respect the local communities who call these extreme environments home. There are so many incredible, beautiful, and safe places in the world to explore. Let's stick to those. We hope this video was not only entertaining, but also a little bit educational about the raw power our world holds. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss our next crazy adventure. Which of these 10 places shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We read